So we're seeing some fan conspiracies about Brie Hall. About Brie Hall and, you know, the old Brie Hall, the South Carolina fans. I'm sorry. I'm glad that they're all going to be gone. I'm glad they're all going to be gone. The people that were calling for Fever to cut Lexi Hall for Brie Hall. And I'm going to be honest, it's nothing more than I think she's going to probably make another roster as one, and two, she's nowhere near as good a defense as they said. Not a bad, like, she is a decent, I'm not going to say she's a bad defender. And she's a disciplined defender, as seen in South Carolina. However, like, she didn't do a particularly good job playing defense yesterday, although she did create her own shot well, which is not what she was needed to do. Which was not what she was needed to do. However, I do think she's going to get picked up. I think that was the reason for cutting her early. I would have gladly kept Brie Hall. If the Fever had the ability to keep Brie Hall, I would have loved if they had kept Brie Hall. So this is not going to be a knock on Brie Hall. But now, you've got the conspiracies from all sides now. Because it has been found, I'm not joking, I checked this for myself. It has been found that Brie Hall follows every single player on the Indiana Fever team except for Caitlin Clark. And it's not an Iowa thing because she follows Kate Martin. She follows every single player on the Fever. From Aaliyah Boston, obviously playing college together, from DeWanna Bonner, all the way down. Actually, I didn't check DeWanna Bonner. Does DeWanna Bonner have Instagram? All the way down to Yvonne Ejim. Even follows Sophie Cunningham. Does not follow Caitlin Clark. Oh, does she follow DeWanna Bonner? Yeah, she does follow DeWanna Bonner. Obviously follows Bree Turner and Natasha Howard. Lexi Hull. I'm looking at these right now. She follows Lexi Hull. No Caitlin Clark. Followed everybody except Caitlin Clark. Like, I'm seeing this right here. WNBA one-sided beef is funny. They're saying Brie Hall followed everyone on the Fever except for Caitlin Clark. No wonder she got waived at lunchtime. And I literally looked it up. I was like, the fact this is true is mental. The fact that this is true. People are like, it's actually true. There's no way this is real. She follows every single person. All 13 other players on the roster that are there except for Caitlin Clark. And it's not like people are just like, oh yeah, you know, Michaela Timpson doesn't follow her. Michaela Timpson doesn't follow every single player other than Caitlin Clark. It's mad. And it's funny. Like, I just thought this was a funny thing. I thought this was just a funny thing. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. I have no idea why it was very specific like that. But I'm seeing some South Carolina fans being like, yeah, the only reason Caitlin Clark is the reason why Brie Hall is not on the team. And I'm sorry. If Caitlin Clark was stopping Brie Hall on the team, or being on the team, it probably, if there was any like actual malice there, you wouldn't have seen Brie Hall in the, I'm just going to get it here, in the Fever. She was in the background cheering on Caitlin Clark after the game in Iowa. And not only that, like, there are some mad conspiracy theories I'm seeing online. And honestly, none of them are true. You would not, like, if Brie Hall had a problem with Caitlin Clark, Brie Hall would not be right here. Brie Hall would not be right here cheering on Caitlin Clark. Like, it is what it is. She got cut, and I think she's going to be picked up by somebody else. But the conspiracy theories are so funny. They're so funny. I just don't think I think she probably was going through the team. This is what I would assume, considering she follows Kate Martin. She probably thought she already followed Caitlin Clark and followed all her teammates and didn't realize she didn't follow Caitlin. It is just funny. People are looking so far into this. People are saying because on the fast break, she looked off Caitlin Clark one time. And in fairness, Brie Hall looked much better when she was with the end of the bench players than she did with Caitlin. We can be honest there. She looked much better, like in that with that situation. But she'll be picked up. She'll 100% be picked up, and it's funny because she could, she'll hit the three for wherever she goes, and her jump shot looks so pure. It looks so nice. And obviously it went into South Carolina, so I would say there's no question about it that, like, she's going to continue to hit shots. And there's no other reason than she wasn't going to make the final roster. And if you're not going to make the final roster, you would rather be cut now than cut later. Like Gillia Lane is a vet. You don't want to keep like someone in their 30s around when they don't have to be. But like Jaylen Brown is a relatively young player who I think is in the conversation for that last spot. I don't think it's a very long conversation. But Yvonne Ejim is there because she probably works hard in practice. She's a young player and she will develop being at training camp. But realistically, there's only one player that's going to make that team, and it's Michaela Timpson, barring injury. And it is more fair, just like with Golden State with Cheyenne Sellers, because the Golden State Valkyries, actually, they play tomorrow night. I don't know why I didn't just play her in that game. If she was never going to make the team, the best thing to do is let her go right away. Let her go right away so that before even any preseason game, she can sign with the Atlanta Dream. It's the best thing you can do to for these players. It was without question the best thing you can do, and for the Fever, it gives Brie Hall the best chance. I don't think there's going to be any hard feelings either way. Maybe she thought she should have made the team. Maybe there will be. But it is like it's ball. It's what happens when there's 12 players in a roster, and it's what happens when there's 11 players in a roster. Like Tahina Paupau might not make the Atlanta Dream purely because they just got Cheyenne Sellers and Atlanta cannot afford a 12th player. Atlanta can't afford 12. There's a bunch of teams in the league, the WNBA, that cannot afford 12 players. Straight up, it is like there's nothing more, nothing less. It was a basketball decision. It was not a personal decision. It was not a Caitlyn hates her decision. It was not a she hates Caitlyn, so she has to be cut decision. It's not a she doesn't fit the culture because she unfollowed Caitlyn Clark on Instagram. It's that she wasn't going to make the team anyway. We got to not look too deep into this. People can't look too deep into this. From the perspective of some people looking at that, and then the perspective of the South Carolina fans saying that there's a conspiracy against South Carolina, that the WNBA are having a conspiracy against South Carolina guards. I'm just going to be honest, Dawn Staley does not do a good job developing guards after Ty Harris. And you might be saying, Alicia Gray. Gray played 1 year for Dawn Staley. We'll see it when Malaysia Fulwiley is a first-round pick, and she would have been a 4-year bench player at South Carolina. And you might have said, but like 4-year bench players have made the WNBA from South Carolina. Ask any team how good Letitia Amaher has been. When they people have realized don't draft guards from South Carolina, which is why Tina Paupau fell to 18. So it'll be an interesting one. It really will be for Brie Hall. But I do think that there are teams that she could really fill a spot for. I think maybe she's there for part of a season. She could be picked up maybe during the season. I think she will play a WNBA game this year. If you were to ask me if she plays one, I'd be very confident. I actually think there's a possibility of Liberty sign her. But the Atlanta Dream, after getting Sellers, are out of the running for her, like I talked about earlier. But yeah, it's overall a very, very interesting situation, interesting development, and we can see what's going to happen. But none of the conspiracies that they're trying to get South Carolina players out of the league is not true. The conspiracy that she's being cut because she unfollowed Caitlyn Clark on Instagram, she may not have ever followed her. She might have followed everybody else, assuming she already followed Caitlyn Clark. Like, all of those things are a lot more likely than her randomly unfollowing Caitlyn Clark while they were still currently teammates. So anyway, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.